Hi, and welcome to another episode of REDtalks.live. I am your very tired host, Nathan Pierce. You are awesome, and we are going to take a look under the hood of Consul Terraform Sync. If you don't know what Consul Terraform Sync is, you should watch the last episode, episode 69, where we went through HashiCorp's latest innovation out of its network infrastructure automation strategy. Consul Terraform Sync joins the wonders of Consul and its up-to-the-moment state of applications and services with Terraform, the finest infrastructure as code technology on the planet. Bringing those two together, we get network infrastructure automation. So, no slides or any of that stuff today. We're going to go straight in and look at how it works and the underlying parts and bits and stuff. So let's switch screens and get right to it. Okay, now we're back to the lab environment. I am logged into a virtual machine hosted in a cloud provider where Consul Terraform Sync is installed. So what are we going to walk through here? This is a short diagram. We're going to show how Consul Terraform Sync receives this state, what that looks like, how it uses a Terraform NIA module, a module following a specific pattern designed for parsing console state in a way that makes it correct for that specific vendor's Terraform provider. For those unfamiliar, the provider is the interface to the end technologies API. The module is what we use to do clever, tricky things, fetch information, modify information, anything magical that might be needed to be done as part of this workflow. All right, so let's go and take a peek at here's our firewall. If you want to see a demo of this kind of running, it's got the two servers already added in here. Look at the previous episode, episode 69. We show a full demo of this with both a Palo Alto firewall and a big IP load balancer. So today I'm just showing under the hood how that kind of works, so we won't do all of that. So I've got, I'm SSH'd in here to my CTS virtual machine. You'll see here that CTS launches with a configuration file. Let's take a look at that file. I've cut this down since the last episode just to make it easier to follow. I took the big IP part out and we're just going to look at one provider for simples. So we have the Panos, Palo Alto Networks Operating System, official provider that talks to the firewall itself. We have the information for communicating to that technology. And then we have down here the task, which says, I only care about the web service. Don't look at the app. Again, we have both an app and web. I'm showing how you can isolate and do just one. And then also we're using this NIA module, which is how we massage that data out of Consul in a way that this provider, the Palo Alto official provider, can consume it and do something useful with it. So that's kind of this pass through here. So let's take a look at some things. I am going to be copying and pasting commands because it turns out I cannot talk and type at the same time. Trust me, there are a few takes before this one. So first, this is that working directory specified up here in the Terraform driver. And the first thing that's done, notice the task name, dynamic address group, DAG web app. It's created a directory in there called DAG web app. Okay, so now let's take a look kind of what's inside that environment. And you'll see a few interesting things. So the first thing I want to look at is the Terraform TF vars. That's the variables that are being input into this module. So Consul Terraform Sync has gone and fetched, oops, that's not what we wanted to do at all. We want to do that. All right, so if we take a look here, we got the information needed for the Panos provider. And then we've also got the information straight out of Consul, and it's got all this metadata and all the lovely information that Consul knows. Consul knows everything. It is the all-knowing, all-being state of apps and services. Here we are, .9.11, plus all the meta information. That's exactly what we've got in this file. But I can't just give this information directly to a Palo Alto firewall. It won't know what I'm handing it. So let's take a look a little deeper. Now, under this directory, you didn't see it when I did a quick look before, but there's a hidden directory in here, .terraform. So let's go and take a look inside there. Now you're going to see some extra things. And there we have in this workspace and in here you'll see main.tf. Let's take a look at that. This is the NIA module and where it processes that information. So it's parsing that information and handing it off to the Palo Alto provider. So going back to this diagram, that's this part here where it's iterating through the addresses. So these services that came straight out of Consul, it's going to iterate through those, and then it's going to hand them to the Palo Alto firewall address group using the Terraform provider. And fantastic, that's everything done. Isn't that magical? Now there's a lot of information in here we're not using. In this one, it's actually just using the address. That's all we told it because that's all the dynamic address group needed in this Palo Alto. Just the addresses, off it hands it to the destination. So this is being used in a firewall policy, getting to the from the big IP to the app itself, that web front end. This is the policy that's being run there. So coming back, let's make a change. We'll go back to that TF vars, and again, just the two servers in there right now. So we're going to jump back a step from that location, and let's scale up our application. Oops. Let's say we've had an event that required some more load. We're going to create 3 app servers and 3 web servers now. Now, when we were looking at the configuration file before, you may have noticed, it's a little further up, this name here, the source, Palo Alto Networks, AG-NIA. So that is in the Terraform registry, so registry.terraform.io. And here's the GitHub repository behind that. It's this simple. It's parsing through those services, and all it's interested in is the IP address and tags for using them. That's the only bit we're grabbing from all of those services, and it's using that to hand that off to that Terraform Palo Alto provider in the back end. So let's come back here. This will soon have finished updating. We've just told it to increase the app. We've still got 2. This will be 3 in just a moment. Okay, scale group is done. Let's jump back onto our Consul Terraform sync virtual machine. That should be coming up. They're still booting. They're not marked healthy just yet. But if we're quick, let's take a look at, jump back to system sync to, we'll probably see, there we have it. Executing task on dynamic address group. Terraform apply. And complete. It's updated. There's some extra machine in there that wasn't there before. Let's go and have a look at our firewall. It has the extra address right now. Excellent. And the last thing, let's take another look at that TF-var files it's just processed. And we'll see now this new machine is on here as well, with the new IP address that just got added. So we've got 1, 2, and 3 servers now that are part of the web service, and all of them have been passed through to the Palo Alto firewall. So that, you can see it's passed through and done everything it should have. So that, in a nutshell, is that Consul Terraform Sync workflow. We saw the services output that Consul Terraform Sync receives from Consul, the state, so it went from 2 servers to 3. The Terraform module, whose job it is to parse those services, fetching the IP addresses, and then that calls the Terraform provider for Palo Alto that knows how to talk to the API and says, hey, I need you to update the address group with this new information. So there's not a lot of new moving parts. This is a single binary, and this is a configuration file with that very short, just how to process that information. That said, this is Terraform powered. Imagine the workflows we can achieve now that we can intercept this path. So you'll see me adding new workflows and capabilities through this. Especially when you look at technologies like F5's Big IP, we might need to do something like fetch a new certificate and install that in the configuration if it's a brand new service. So I'm going to be building out more workflows in this GitHub organization. This is the Palo Alto one we got here already, and there's a Big IP one I'll start working on very soon, just to extend some of those capabilities. But I hope that was useful to you. We showed how this changed. Hopefully, as you saw, that's not that scary. It's quite straightforward, really. We've just got CTS stitching those two worlds together. Any questions? Please let me know. Thanks for listening.